from the UK on this Saturday afternoon, 1:30, so watching the first football game. And the Covert Ops with the C3 technology is giving you one of the techniques, the strategies they use for this school. But another alternative to it all is the surround targets. And it says this little clip went off there to get my body position, body language. I think it's a hidden case studies, clinical close-up research. I think it's groundbreaking. All it is, they just capture the targets so they can show off if they can get a stitch up and frame up with the mental health administrators, psychologists they work with, who are linked to the armed forces, linked to the police force, intelligence teams, and they surround the target, wearing the headpieces or whatever communication apparatus equipment they're using, two-way radio. Yeah, and surround the target is stuck in the middle of them, and depending whatever techniques they're using, in my situation, another situation, they're using the houses next door, the properties next door, surrounding us, we're in the middle, and they just talk shit all day about all the communications they picked up between the target and whoever they've been talking to, family, friends, old associates, church members, co-workers if the target works, or people down there, whatever communication, whatever people they talk to, whether it's unemployment officers, whether it's teachers, whatever. They just pick up every communication that a target does, and then they just talk rubbish about it all day long, hoping the target gets agitated, nervous disposition, and starts freaking out. And then whatever they're capturing, they edit it all. If they can get the target really agitated, really stressed, really worried, really anxious, and they're sitting there thinking about it, and they'll edit it all and try and send it to mental health administrators, to healthcare, to NHS healthcare abusers who want to stitch a target up into elderly care homes, depending on how old they are, or into mental health. Well, they try and deteriorate a target's life, mind, body and soul. Yeah, just 24-hour, non-stop, 365 days a year bombardment of their communications abuse that they're doing to a target who's stuck in the middle of it all. And so you've got to realise all the information that they're picking up, past associates, they've had to delve into target's history to find out who the old friends are, who the old school friends are, who their co-workers are, all works organisations are, and also whatever the target puts on social media. They conspire with neighbours, some neighbours, not all of them are involved, obviously, in the targeting programme, but they use it all against a target while they surround the target with non-stop rubbish that they're doing between the covert operators who are doing shifts, and they get a kick out of it, thinking they can destroy people's lives and capture people's lives, which is all criminal practicing, social engineering. They're trying to make sure the target is isolated. That's one of the goals. And then they just go to work on them with radiation, with surveillance equipment, hospital equipment, x-ray equipment, ultrasound, infrasound, and that's linked to hidden case studies, research, and photographing and videoing people's everyday lives, including their body language, including the tone of their voice, including the way they look in the face, facial expressions, in the eyes. That's why I've stopped doing putting my face up on these blogs, because they're doing cybercrime on my phone as well, and they can mirror and see my face and my eyes while we do the 24-hour bombardment of they call it Voices School, but as those you have to see it as a different alternative. They're just sitting bumming around on Coventry, surrounding the target, trying to destroy the target's everyday life and trying to get reactions out of them. And anything the target does or says, or the way they sit, or the way they look, they think they can use it against them. That's another way of looking at it, in rather sit around targets, allowing their communications to be heard, hoping the target starts mentioning loads of names, especially loads of different names they keep mentioning, which I've got off my social media, off the accusations I've been thrown out, because and a lot of the names I've mentioned, they are in the corrupted network, who are linked to armed forces boys, who are linked to miners, who are linked to dormant security, who are linked to security guards, and who are linked to plastic wannabes, criminal-minded, criminal-active, criminal-corrupted idiots who think they can go around aiding and abetting the covert operators and whether the armed forces boys, corrupted police, corrupted council workers in the fire service, the NHS, healthcare, social services, mental health, and we just take it in turns daily. While with street theatre, obviously there's links that I've put out. The street theatre, just acting scenarios, where they set up scenarios wherever the target goes in public, in the works area, in the community, and try and set up scenarios that they can capture, whether someone bumping into them, whether someone coughing, whether someone beeping the horn, driving really close behind the target, tailgating, or whether it's other people doing jobbing manoeuvres, trying to agitate the target and cause nervous disposition. And the corrupt side of it all, of this profile making, surveillance monitoring, when they do the editing, they use computer software editing tools, and that's where they can use targets of similar size, over operators of similar size to the target, when they're using the thermology, the infrared, the ultrasound, the online technologies, track and trace, and make out the over operator is the target. And the over operator will also be acting, doing all kinds of dangerous car manoeuvres, dangerous forklift manoeuvres if they work forklifts, or dangerous work activity, or odd, abnormal behaviour in shopping centres, in shopping malls, in supermarkets, in the vicinity of a target. And again, they'll edit it all and try and hand it in to mental health people, to healthcare people, linked to elderly care homes, if they try and destroy, targeting pensioners, targeting elderly TIs, and try and put the TI into elderly care home. And some of just what this over operators are sick. Yeah, whatever they're doing in the toilets, whatever they're doing when they're walking down the street, they're desperate to get to the toilet, touching cloth, or when we're in the pub getting really drunk, farting all over the place, leaving skid marks on their panties or on their boxer shorts, and they all get edited because they'll make out the target's critical, is an emergency, is suffering from self-destruction. And it says it's sick how these covert operators and these surveillance monitoring teams can sit on a computer, edit someone else, one of the over operators or one of the local people. Some of them won't even know. It says they'll be watching drugs dens, they'll be watching people on sessions in their homes drinking, or in the pubs drinking, overindulging, and they'll try and frame someone else up for it. That's the kind of databases and sick scenarios that these surveillance monitoring teams who do the editing on the computer software, wizardry editing tools, are editing. And then they think they can go to judge and jury behind closed doors, the family court protection, force the judge to watch it and say, can you see it? Yeah, this target's self-destructed, this target's suffering from physical symptoms, illnesses, and then the judge will issue a court order. And that's how we stitch people up into elderly care homes or into mental health. While these sick covert operators are capture it all. A lot of times other people's activities, like I said, in the bedrooms, in the toilets, or in the pubs, in the clubs. Yeah, and they try and get a court order on someone else, on the target, who they're desperate to destroy via overdosing of government drugs, forcing government drugs on them, and misdiagnosis of all their body language, of all their facial looks, eye looks, conversation skills. So realise this targeting system says there's nasty people, evil people who are watching activities, everyday activities, and illegally, criminally, when they're watching people indoors, in clubs, in pubs, or in their homes, or elsewhere, and using see-through technology, thermology, infrared, ultrasound, X-ray technologies. So the saga continues. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and TRs, keep it real, and try to ignore the communications of the covert operators, because they should not be doing it, and try to get your head around it and ignore it as artificial sound, artificial intelligence. Yeah, someone's sitting there, or a group of them is sitting there, and we're in the middle of them, or whatever devices, apparatus, equipment, circuits they've got around us, whether you're renting the home or whether it's linked to housing association. Yeah, they would have set up those equipment so that their communications can be heard. And then when they want the reaction, they turn the sound recorders on, or use the neighbours to say the targets are a bit deluded or under breach of the peace, noise nuisance. They try and force a target out their home. Or if it's a target's own home, they use the neighbours around them to say the neighbours are mental, and we sound recorded them because we think they should be put into mental health or added care home. That's how they try and get away with it. The judge and jury, who they nobble, they pay, they bribe, manipulate, or are blackmailed to look at the clinical close-up photographs and videos and sound recordings, which is criminal practicing, because they're not supposed to be there. They're encroaching on people's privacy, encroaching on people's properties, whether it's their own property or whether it's rented. Everybody, digest it all, psychoanalyse it all. Have a good day.